Could you share a wee bit about your background and how you became involved in the coaching under 15 teams?
I've been coaching now for some time now. It was one of those ones, even when I was sort of coming out of junior football and starting in, I was always a background in soccer coaching. That was through John Cunningham and Bugsy, first of all, got me into it, through summer jobs and things like that, and then it sort of extended. Why I tell you all that is that in around about, that was mid-90s, and around about mid-noughties I sort of stepped away and sort of married, and then I got family life. And then with the young fella coming back, he wanted to play soccer, and with his pathway, Top of the Hill brought me in and asked if I would help out there. From there, I was lucky enough to have a good bunch, great team, fond memories, and from there, they approached me and asked if I would sort of come on board, and I was delighted they sort of accept the offer.
How do you balance the need for competitive success with player development at that age group?
Well, me personally, the one thing I would say, I never really focused on winning. I never focused on the outcome. If there's something we've worked on in training and in relation to how we play, approach a match, then I want to see that sort of executed. If that then means that we end up winning, then so well and so good. You're not going to go through your entire career winning, so it's really setbacks are part of the process. You really sort of want to see how they handle it. Now, I would never at any stage want to take out that will be won in anyone. That's a basic ingredient if you are going to be a competitor, particularly at the highest level. So I think that's instilled in everyone anyway. But what we sort of try and have to really temper is the message that we try and get to the kids, or the players I should say, and make sure that if they are carrying out certain instructions, so something as simple as we might want to see them better with the ball, just and making better decisions.
How do you address the physical and tactical development needs of your players?
Well, there's a lot involved in it. So, and in regards to the academy, I'm on with Peter Hutton. Obviously, anything Peter doesn't know is not worth knowing, like, you know, I can't away. So he's Mr. There, he said it himself. And then we've got Aidan Campbell, who's a brilliant goalkeeping coach. And between us all, we try and make sure we cover all bases in relation to what is required. Now, in this day and age, there's things like strength and conditioning as well. And Derry's brought on a good team in relation to strength and conditioning. So you've got the likes of Alec Given there, and he's sort of working with the boys in that aspect. The downside to it all is that we've 2 field sessions per week, so we try to maximise as much as we can in relation to, you know, the information that we get across, but also making sure that in their own time they're doing the extra wee bits that are required. And in fairness to a lot of the boys at that level, they are doing that. Like.
And what are some of the biggest challenges you face coaching an under 15 team?
The first thing I would want to say in that, look, it's enjoyable. You're getting to be part of someone's soccer or sporting pathway. You enjoy it, and getting to see from the start of the year that you have them to the end of the year, and how they walk out, you know, into their next step, their next venture. If they've progressed, then really you're taking great pride in it. Now, it's not all down to us as coaches. We just sort of signpost, if you want. We're pointing them in the direction, and they sort of move with it. Biggest thing I would sort of say is managing expectation in relation to it. So some people, and it is academy football, it's not the only show in town, but it's fairly much hyped. So then you have a lot of people that sort of put a lot of emphasis on it, and once you get the foot on the door, someone actually think that this could be it. Whereas you're trying to sort of emphasise, look, really, the work's just beginning. You've done well to get there, because there'd be a sort of school of thought that up to 16 it's ability that gets you in the door. From 16 onwards, it's your attitude and your application to your ability that sort of keeps you in the building, for want of a better description.
And can you share a memorable success story or highlight from your coaching career of the under 15 team? There's
obviously personal journeys that you see. Now, what I'm finding, we're on the way up to the Foyle Cup, at each sort of juncture, Peter, Ian and myself, we've found that the Foyle Cup, it's almost like a team bonding exercise, because we're with each other every day that week. We're past the stage where we're sort of getting to know the group, and then once we get there, we sort of kick on after the Foyle Cup. Now, why I say all that is that last year we were fortunate enough to go on the league, and then that was sort of split up on the 2 sets of 4 top teams played off against each other, and we ended up winning out. Now, it wasn't so much that the fact that one, as I say, we got to expose the young lads the likes of semi-finals and finals, and more or less seeing us across the line. In the final, for example, with 20 players, and we got to get every one of them adequate game time in a final in that sort of setting. And that for me, and just seeing the change room afterwards, it was a good end to a top season.
Back in 1992, you had the success. So how did it feel for you being a personal winner in that year in the Foyle Cup?
Do you know what, Stephen, as you probably know me, I hate talking about things like that. No, the point being is it was just football to us at the time. And probably whenever I look back at it as a young sort of 16-year-old, you're probably not aware of what you've done, but I take great pride now in saying I took part in the first Foyle Cup, and we actually went on to win it with a brilliant Moorfield side. Like at the time, unfortunately Moorfield's no longer, but what a side, and great memories. Like
they were renowned. I mind playing for Tri-Star myself, Ryan, and coming up the likes of Moorfield, they were unbeatable at the time. I do recall that. But how do you help players handle setbacks and losses?
The first thing I would sort of say to any group, I'd just advise them that it is part of it. Now, in another life, if you want to call it, I'm sort of I work in GA circles too, or I'm sort of dipping my toe in that. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be with the group since they've been 6. They're now up to the 16-17 age group, so that's a full 10 years. I definitely believe that what you saw between the ages of 5 and 12, they're basically, you'll see the sort of shoots of it whenever they come to teenagers. So things like that are very important. The message you sort of provide to them at that stage, so the likes of you can sort of impress upon them with resilience, and whenever there are setbacks, they have to understand that it's part of the landscape, if you want to call it. I just try to focus on things that we can control. So I'd sort of say to the young lads, focus on what you can, and to use my own children, so my son and my daughter, if they have a setback, the first thing we do, we go out and we try and work a wee bit harder. So that's basically the reset button, if you will. We just say to them, right, is there something you want to do? You want to work on shooting, passing, whatever it is, jam session, we do it.